Hello, it's me, Prov. Hi. And this is the Proverbial Inn, except today it's another... hello, Friendship Petat. Today it's another, sorry, wow, out of character stream, because I am going to draw. I'm going to draw for VGen's monthly challenge, because this one inspired me. And how are you? How are you doing? Good? Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Today hasn't been so blazing hot as other days, so I'm feeling pretty nice. Yeah, I'm feeling just pretty nice. Plus, doodling today. So, whenever I'm in a sort of more artistic mood, whenever I get to draw something, I tend to feel in a pretty good mood. Maybe I should stream some... Yeah! I was like, some abs. Like, some abs. No, I stream some... But I am streaming some art. Like, right now. Some buns. Wait, okay. Okay, give me a sec. Okay. Here's a bun. There, enjoy. But yeah, my point is that today, the monthly challenge. VGen has a challenge for August, so I basically have 10 days to complete it because I started late, and this month the challenge theme is mirrors. So I decided to draw a character of mine who hasn't been around for a while because I haven't been playing dungeon crawling or survival games for a while. But some of you may remember Delana, who hasn't been since the Dungeon of Nihilbuck. And I decided to draw her in one of those, magical crystal caverns. And each crystal is going to reflect or to show an image of her in an alternate timeline where something from her life went differently. Because she's had by our standards, she's had a pretty long life. Because she's something like between 200 and 250, I think. So, pretty decent life. She's met some people. Because of her terrible charisma, actually, she's mostly upset a lot of people. But what if she hadn't? What if some of her previous relationships had worked? What if sometimes when things were right, they instead went wrong? What if, what if? So I wanted to, because she was my character in Curse of Strahd, there's at least one crystal that's going to show her as a vampire spawn, and another one that's going to show her as a werewolf after being bitten by one. But one of the things that has happened in her life is that she was once, very briefly, because I wanted to play her as someone who hadn't had... Thank you, Shai.
The ice burned.
That's fine. That's fine though. It's a nice drink. It brought me a tasty drink. But yeah, because I wanted to play her as someone who wasn't really too used to being around people and to having how could I say longer relationships with people, more stable relationships with people. She was at some point briefly part of an adventurous party as their guide through a forest. She didn't really feel like she was part of the party, though. She was just, in D&D terms, she was the NPC scout that they hired. But she was just with them for that adventure, and then she just, she had been hired, so she left. And then she had another adventure with those people, and once again she left afterwards, and she ended up pissing off. Well, it was less pissing off and more. Yeah. She had a falling out with the leader of that group because while they were having a drink, sort of commiserating about things, the dwarven leader of that group told her that she was his favorite elf ever, and that he really liked her, and she sort of didn't understand it right. She thought that he was flirting with her. And one thing about Delana is that she's very, very gay. And she thought that dude was just flirting with her, and she was like, she kind of wanted to say, okay, but I'm not into guys. And instead she sort of blurted out that she didn't like his beard. And, guy was a dwarf. He didn't like that very much. They sort of had a falling out. They never spoke again. So instead, here is how she could have... what would have happened if she had handled it differently. There she is, just a mainstay member of the group. But as a result, she would never have met the party that she ended up part of. Still, she would presumably have become more used to meeting people. Just like she did after her, the adventure that she actually went onto. Maybe she would have grown slightly more confident in herself. As of now, she still knows that she's a pretty damn good huntress and tracker and that sort of stuff. So, once you've survived an adventure that got you to face a vampire, you probably sort of grow a little more confident. I'm just thinking what she should have a different. She's going to have a different armor, maybe a sort of lamellar. And you know what? She's winking at the camera. Or at the observer. This version of her is also, well, as a side perk, not horribly traumatized by having gone to the Shadowfell. Hey. Maybe I'm going to draw her with a past hairstyle of hers, which had braids on both sides. And in front of her is that dwarf that she upset. Except he's not upset. Because I don't know, maybe when he told her that she was his favorite elf, he just went, hey, thank you, like a normal person. Yeah, I've drawn him at some point. I'm trying to figure out where I drew him, but I think I drew him in a manuscript, like in a manuscript style. No, that's not that. It's a book page, Delana. Yeah. Okay. There's a big old moustache. And a thick, curly beard. I can't remember what I called him. Like I think his name was Ulfgar or something like that. Some very dwarven name. Thank you. Hey, yes, hello. I love you more. My wife, everybody. She is cool. She is the greatest, even. Yeah, but you're great in spirit. Oops, that's not what I intended to do. Did I draw some titties? Not really. Not really. In fact, I just realized I considered drawing what would have happened if she had stayed with like if she had managed to confess to her first crush, but I'm realizing that her first crush was a tiefling, and it was like more than 100 years ago, so a tiefling is very, very dead. No, tieflings have a lifespan that's around human lifespan. Yeah, but I think devils can live for like much longer than any mortal. Like, oh, you know what? Maybe that's actually. I'm just realizing something. What if she got into those adventures, those regular adventures? Maybe she got a different type of. She has a couple of scars on her arms from being attacked by like wildlife, but you know, just thinking, what if she's not winking? What if she's not winking and she has like a scar there, like a big old scar? She doesn't seem to like be very upset about it. Sorry, actually, I might mute because my wife brought me food, and but I don't know. Yeah, I mute for a sec. Alright, I'm back. I haven't really established the other members of the group, like of that party, but all I know, all that would make sense, is that the others, class-wise, were not, like, very good at nature, so I would imagine maybe a cleric or a rogue. Yeah, but it's just a sketch. It's just a sketch. For now. Also, she's reacting like this because she's assuming that someone's trying to mesmerize her. Which, you know, she's faced things. She's faced fiends and undead and monstrosities and all sorts of weird magic. There could be an evil fae about. Yeah. So, just in case, pull out your sword. I think, okay, at any rate, I think I want to put a half-orc in there. Dragonborn could be cool, but I like the idea of of her having never seen a Dragonborn before Soleil, and her just going like, oh yeah, that's like some sort of dragon person. That's, I guess that, you know, maybe she assumes that all Dragonborn are homunculi now. Like, you know, I'll figure it out, but I'm going to draw like I'm going to draw a face here, just so that I know that I want to put a half-orc. And, you know, maybe another maybe a tiefling. Maybe I'll put a tiefling in there too. Like somewhere here, being all like high. There's a couple of those reflections that are sad. There's actually a lot of those reflections that are sad. I'm going to warn you in advance. I'm sorry. Let's see. You know, I'm going to redraw the werewolf one. But maybe I'm going to put it somewhere behind because it doesn't need a lot of detail. Also, yeah, I know the reflections absolutely do not show her from the angle that you would expect a reflection to show her, but it's okay. They're magical reflections. You know, so they're more alternate selves. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's one where she takes a pact. So, question. Okay, the reflection. The reflection. Give me a sec. It doesn't actually matter a lot because she's pretty symmetrical here, except for the fact that she has a scar, but she doesn't actually have a scar in her regular appearance. Still, I'm going to do that anyway. And it would be nice, I suppose, if people could zoom in on the reflection and see, like, cool stuff. At least that's my that's my take on it. That's my very lukewarm take. Here, wait, view, view. I'm going to flip it horizontally. So now I can draw the way that I would draw her. And also, hello Saya, how are you doing? Oh yeah. Ah, you too then. Good. Good. So here I'm going to draw having taken a pact, and a pact that allowed her to resurrect someone, but that robbed her of her appearance of a regular, very much alive person. Now she looks pretty damn dead. But she's alive, sort of. That's more like a less discerning alternate self, I suppose. Oh, I went all quiet. Sorry, I decided to focus and I focused too much. So blah 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 blah. I drew her head too small, I'm not going to do that. I'll do that later. Where? But can't remember how tall they are respectively. Which means that it's about time to open a reference. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That plant hair gang image. The leaves actually reach up to her eyes. So... But it's just that... Yeah, it's just that Oak has a lot of leaves. So I'm just going to draw her head right there and be like... Yeah, I'm going to do that there, and I'm going to need to remember... She looks like Toad now. Hey! Hey, Delana! Hey! Why did you take that fucking deal? You know that okay? That diminishes the impact and the sadness. Okay, because that is the alternate past. That's the alternate present rather, where at some point she took a deal to resurrect, like a deal with nefarious forces to resurrect Oak, like right there, right now, because she couldn't wait. Yeah. And yep, that's a terrible idea. That's a terrible idea. Awful. So I'm going to finish it there later. At that point, I think at that point she already had, she still had the cloak. You know, I'll mess with that later. It's like looking into what do you call them? Alternate endings of an RPG with way too many endings. Except, of course, those are not really endings. I'm looking at stuff there. I see the pie version. Yeah, the pie version. I could draw that one off stream. Werewolf version, vampire version, Rampage of Revenge version. Yeah, I'll draw that one. I'm going to try to draw the sad one sort of spaced out, so there's a sad one here. That means that I'm going to draw... This one is a pretty happy one. This one is an okay one. So that means that I'm going to draw a sad one here. An okay one here. Maybe an okay one here. How many sad ones are there again? You know, half of the point of drawing all those sad ones is that they didn't come to pass. So, you know, in the end, things are pretty good. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's about 5 sad ones. Which means that there are 5 decent ones. The decent ones are... Stayed in the Feywild. Didn't get lost in the Feywild in the first place. Oh, that's not a very good one, actually. This one. Stayed with her Pixie X is not really a good one. But it's not a horrifying one. She's going on in that one. She's going to look tired because pixies are intense. but you know, she's otherwise. It's that relationship didn't end because her partner was abusive. It ended because her partner was immature and incompatible with her, really. Like, incompatible because she didn't take enough things seriously. But I wouldn't put it on par with, like, being turned into a werewolf. So I'm going to, if anything, I'm going to put that one. I'm going to put that one there because it's a very fucking neutral one, really. Yeah, there's one. Okay. So I'm thinking. I'm going to put the werewolf here. I'm going to put the vampire here. The pie one here. No, the pie one will go there because I don't need to draw as much. And the... Wait, no, the wolf will be here. And this one will be the rampage one. The rampage one is the one where, after Oak's death, she just decided that she would go find and kill those woodcutters. Actually managed to do it, and just continued to go around killing woodcutters whenever she found them. So it's yet another one of those endings where she lost herself, which, you know, depressing. This one is going to be, it's a pretty big one, so I'm going to have that be the Feywild one. Where she didn't feel like, where she didn't question too much the fact that maybe the fact that she belonged there. She just thought, I'm there, it doesn't really matter if I'm an outsider, I'm fine, everybody seems to be okay with me, I'll stay. So it's a pretty good one. This one is the one where she remains with her parents. She knows where her parents are. She's just taking part in their hunts. She's just helping them hunt for pelts and such. She's part of the family business. This one... which ones are left? Okay. I think that last one is the one where she stayed with her Furbolg ex because they didn't fight so much about whether they should tell people to respect nature or tell people to fear nature. Delana's mindset was that if they feared nature, they would avoid going too far into the forest and messing everything up. She felt vindicated in a way after, you know, what happened with her next girlfriend dying, but you can't really feel vindicated when you're grieving. There's no such there's not much time to say "I told you so" when you're very hurt. So like it was like it was a bad thing all along. She didn't want to be proven right. That being said, if you teach people to respect nature, they also won't like chop stuff down willy-nilly. They'll just, take what they need, not everything they want. Like, if you teach people to fear that place, maybe all that, like, everyone who will go in will be people going in with a very antagonistic mindset, like a very hostile mindset. Maybe only like the most reckless of mercenaries will go in there. But yeah. You know what I should have? I should have a D something. I'm going to roll myself a D8 just to know which one I should draw. It's a 3. So it's this one. Wait a minute, what does a hand like this look like? Wait, my brain. Oh, wait. I can do it. Okay, yeah. Okay, it's fine. I managed to do it. I sort of forgot how big a pixie is, but, it's going to be like this. It's going to be that big. And I think that, she has funny proportions anyway. I think that she's about I'm going to have a look at her model. Like at the 3D model I made of her. Spoilers for the future, by the way. But I think that Pixie is like a third. Like, she's about 33% head in height. She has very silly proportions. Of course I can't find the model. Of course I can't find the picture where I did a sort of comparison with Isolde's model. Yes, I can. No, she's about a fourth head. And considering that I've drawn a halfling once with who was 1/3 head, she actually has more reasonable proportions than, So Yeah. Boop. She's just giving her like smooches. In this one, oh, that's an ad break coming up. In this one, she's going to look. She's going to look tired, but otherwise, okay. I don't like the way this looks. Sorry, frustration. There's something that I'm doing wrong. And you know, because that X was a little intense, but all in all, like, I'm saying intense charitably. Intense, but you know, I am going to assume that she covered her in gifts, because gifts matter a lot to Faye, like a lot. So I'm going to give her like all sorts of weird little trinkets, maybe. Like a bracelet here, a little doodad there. And again, she has a different hairstyle in that one, because every different timeline just has her looking different. So maybe she grew her hair out here. You know, I'm going to send you to the ad break, because that way you're not really going to miss out on anything, because this is not like gameplay or something super, you know, you're not going to miss out on anything. So ad break, we'll be back in 3 minutes. Welcome back. Alright, so I rolled again and I got the never lost one. So maybe in that one we're going to see one. Wait, we're going to see her in the background. And she's just, you know, she's just running. Although maybe she's probably approaching things stealth. Yeah, she would probably approach things stealthily. Stealth, you know, quietly. So more like very carefully shifting her weight. And has her bow with her. Well, it's a different bow, of course. And in front. Hey, imagine. You know what would be amusing? If this... I pick her canon now because she's a retired character. I'm no longer playing her in adventures because I considered that her escaping Curse of Strahd with her life was good. And, you know, I just like the idea of her just going to do her thing, find her happy ending, and being satisfied with her lot in life. Or at least going on adventures that are less dangerous. But what if, actually, encountering this cave was what gave her an image of her parents, and what got her to actually finding them? How would one do that gesture? It's this and that and sort of this. But he's sort of beckoning her. He's beckoning her, but he's telling her to be quiet. He doesn't need to tell her again, because they've probably gone hunting like many times. But he still does it, because you know how parents are. Can't remember what I made her dad look like, but I think think he has long hair, a fairly angular chin, like kind of square. I can't really draw it like that, but also his hand is too high here. And all I remember of her mother is that what I remember most about her, drawing her mother at some point, is that she has a sort of a big scar across her face. I don't really know why or how she got that scar, but it could have been a stray arrow for all I know. And I'm the only one who knows because, you know. Did I have... Do I have any sort of thing that's called... like a file that's called parents or something? No, of course not. Of course not. That must have been a picture that I took with my camera and then... Oh, never mind. There's an image called Delana Parents. Wow, I'm so clever. So... yeah, it's more than those that's like... this and he has kind of wavy hair. It should be there in the background. Just eagerly taking part. She looks a bit too eager there, but you know. And she has yet a different hairstyle. Because it's yet a different timeline. Maybe she tied her hair to the back of her head. Maybe she braided it in one braid. And maybe, you know what? Maybe we're going to see her mother's head there. That looks weird. I will figure it out later if needed. Because, you know, as I said, I have a couple. I have like 10 days, maybe 12. And yeah, I'd rather not spend too long working on minutiae. Is that how it's pronounced? You know what? Oh, great.
Minutia.
Minutia. Minutia or minutiae?
Minutiae.
Oh, minutiae. Minutiae. Well, I won't. The details. The details. I won't overwork myself over the details. Fucking hell. No, it's not. Okay. You know, I'll start like this. Like this. And it has... This one has, like, is sort of clutching her face. I've completely forgotten what her previous armor looked like. Oh wow, yeah. I'm so used to drawing her in the studded armor that I had forgotten. I had forgotten what the armor that I had her wear at the beginning of the game looked like. Like, completely. I had forgotten that it had, like, 3 flaps and a big old belt. And yeah. She already had her braces though. There's some bits that I'll figure out, you know. Such as I sort of completely fucked up the proportions here. What was that about not worrying too much about the details? I forgot. Also, you know what? In this version, she has the hairstyle that we know her, like that we know she has, except it's completely, it's very unkempt. You know who cares about hairstyles? People. You know who should rather like see freak out when they see her in this timeline? People. So, you know. You know, maybe she's actually pretty glad to be killing all those woodcutters. Actually, sort of had it coming and all that. Disclaimer, by the way, it's from her point of view, okay? And there she has, like, her bow is going to have a lot of little notches. I had drawn the head way too big. That's fine. It doesn't... Again, it doesn't really matter. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, great. You know, it's misery time. Misery o'clock. I'm going to try to find a good reference of someone looking as feral as possible. Yeah, please don't. Please, oh. Why do I still see AI stuff despite? I don't know. You know what? I will use my imagination. I wanted a reference. I won't get the reference. Cool. Thank you, AI companies. You absolute assholes. Kind of want to draw her like here, like you would, okay, in a position that you would expect from, you would expect to see that position filmed in night vision. You know, grainy night vision by someone who's doing urban exploration, and they just stumble upon a creepy basement, and in there they just hear like and they look and they just see that person who's sort of hunched over and just turns to face them and it's like, hello and welcome to to Prov makes feral noises. Enjoy your stay. Cannibal ASMR. No, you arrived at a weird time. But welcome to them. I was explaining what I was drawing. And because, okay, here, I drew, it sounds like it sounds, I remember the doppelganger doing. Yeah, so what I was, okay, context. There's VGen, the service that matches people looking for VTuber assets and people making VTuber assets. Yes, I'm going to avoid the giving spoilers. I'm going to avoid giving spoilers, but thank you for the warning, friendship at that. Still, potential Curse of Strahd spoiler warnings. Actually, potential Strahd, Curse of Strahd spoiler warnings, skip to 5 minutes from now, if you really need to, maybe 10. you're not going to miss anything. This is if you're watching on YouTube, but you know. So yeah, they have a monthly thing where you draw something matching a theme. So this month's theme is mirrors. So I drew Delana in a cave full of weird magical crystals that show her alternate selves from alternate timelines where she's taken different choices or made different choices. One of which is, for example, took a certain deal. You know, a certain deal instead of relying on a friendly death cleric. Because if you want something done, do it yourself, and do it now. It's very important. You could die tomorrow. One where she didn't get lost in the Feywild. One where she may have said it during the campaign, but she was once hired by a group of adventurers as a guide. This is the timeline where she decided to stay with them and actually became a mainstay of the group, like a respected member of that group, and actually, you know, started speaking to people more often. There's one where after Ook died, she just flipped her shit and started shooting random woodcutters in the forest. And there's one where, you know, due to certain events that you are familiar with, she sort of ends up a weird feral version of herself that just is only interested by a certain type of food. And so I was describing the feeling that I was trying to evoke of someone filming in grainy dark vision in a basement and just coming across some sort of creature that's just there eating something all feral-like. I might actually have that one be monochrome, come to think of it. And I'm just going to try to make her look as creepy as possible. Like, she's going to have that she's going to sort of be slack-jawed. Oh great, now I'm thinking of like Saturn eating his son or something. She's going to look really unkempt here too, like. Oh yeah. Oh, it's full of delicious dreams and magic. Mmm. Yummy, yummy. So good. Barovian pie yummy. Oh. Yes, exactly, exactly. Yumi Barabi. Yes. Oh man. Oh my God. I need to draw that now. I need to draw that, and I'm going to need to post it in r/Curse of Strahd, probably. But I don't have time. I don't have time because this is supposed to, like, this is supposed to be this is supposed to be I'm supposed to finish it by the end of the month. Yeah, I got a deadline. Oh, sorry. I got a deadline for this. So my deadline for drawing the Yumi Barovi is only, well, my deadline is the Yumi set or archetype needs to still be relevant by the time I'm done. Which, you know, probably wait, something is terribly off here. What the hell? Yeah, okay, good. So I have time. Watch me never actually draw that thing. Yeah, that's a fucking Junji Ito eye, you know. Let me see. All right. Yeah. Thank you for the reassurance. Now, one. It is the vampire ending, where, you know, she gets bitten by a vampire, and then she's trapped in there forever. That's a lot of sad ending. You know what that means, actually? You know, it sounds like a massive misery fest, alright? But all that it means is that, honestly, she got out of all of this, like, all in all, her life could have gone much worse. Speaking of misery, oh. Yes? Okay, I'm going to assume the spell plague. I'm going to assume you reached the spell plague. The times of trouble. What's that again? Is that the events around the events of Baldur's Gate 1? Oh, yeah. So yeah, that sounds like misery. Oh no. Oh well, that really sucks. That's yeah. That sucks balls. Ah, why do you inflict that upon yourself? Oh yeah, I had just. I think that I had put her in that one dress that she had found in Barovia. A very pretty dress, but you know. Yeah, I can't have her drawn as a vampire and not put her in that dress. It has a big old fan shaped a big old fan shaped collar thing piece. Think this on yourself because it's fun. That's I Shield 21 meme. I mean, every time you tell me because it's fun, it's going to I'm going to think about it. Yeah. You know what? You know what? A bit of blood dripping, like. It reminds me of tiefling. Oh. So, like gladiator background or something like athlete-like. Yeah, so yeah, I was thinking otherwise. I don't really know what his role is in general, but he seems to motivate people a whole lot, doesn't he? Or be a strategist of some sort. Because don't rogue masterminds do that sort of shit? Like, help their teammates with some sort of weird little things. So inspiring leader somewhere along the line. Let me see, how tall was she compared to the... Yeah, okay, the Furbolg has a good extra head. Like, a good whole extra head over her. That suggests a character with high charisma too. Or at least, you know, proficiency in intimidation, deception, and persuasion. Yeah, it seems like that seems like he like that's why, I suppose that's why when people come on Art D&D and they're like, oh yeah, I would like to build this character in D&D, someone tells them, hey, you probably won't be able to do that because characters in anime or manga, they can do stuff by themselves, and they can be way larger than life. Whereas a level 1 character in D&D, they are larger than life, but you know, only somewhat. Yeah, that's true. That's fair. here there's a few. I'm going to put a few people there who are listening. They're just listening. So, whoop. Oh man, that's interesting. I kind of okay in this. So in this alternate timeline, she managed to work out, or she was convinced by her druid ex that actually teaching people to be scared of the forest was bad, and that they should be taught to be to enter the forest but respectfully. So I kind of want to draw her in a more druid-like look. You know, sort of tunic and sort of circlet of whatever. But yeah, that's it's true. That's basically the big problem, where sometimes people who are very used to playing computer RPGs will they'll worry about oh yeah, but my I don't know, my strength is too low. That's going to be really bad. And no, it's not. It's not. Just trust the team. Trust the team. Someone else will carry the big things, the big heavy things. Actually, maybe it's going to be a whole bunch of braids. But a whole bunch of braids actually just makes me think of Volan. Alright, and now... a D2. Alright, the Feywild one, where she just never... You know what? No, fuck the dice. Do not fuck the dice. Dice are not for fucking. However, I'm going to ignore the dice. And I'm going to draw the sad one first so that I can draw the happy one afterwards. And then I'll feel happy. Oh, wait. There's an ad break coming up very soon. What if I sent you to the ad and then just yeah, I could just send you to the ad. So yeah, I'll do that. Be back in 3 minutes. I'm back. So yeah, as I said, I am going to draw the sad one first, because why not? The problem is, I have every furry on the internet looking in my direction, because I'm going to draw what would have happened. I'm going to draw her as a werewolf. And, you know, I'm not very good at drawing animals. So, lest I incur the wrath of the furries, I will look at what a wolf actually looks like. Alright. But I would like to do a snarling wolf, maybe. Snarling wolf would look cool. I need to... There's one domain in particular, like one domain that I need to block via an extension or something, because they keep showing up in my image search, and I think that they're somehow escaping the anti-AI settings I've put on my search. Okay. Wolves. They have a nose. They have big old fangs. Steve. Le loup-garou Steve. That doesn't work if it's not orange. Il est tout gris. Il a un nez et des dents. Loup-garou Steve. Loup-garou Steve. Il te bouffera ta face. Waouh waouh. Il peut transformer en type. Il peut manger des glaces. Loup-garou Steve, il aime pas beaucoup l'argent. I don't think that there's a mais on l'aime bien, because it's... Ah my god, why am I... I'm not used to drawing animals. Boo. Now I understand people who who aren't used to drawing humans, and they are suddenly supposed to draw a human, and it's difficult. Oof. I don't think that's going to be a very good wolf. I'm sorry, furries. I failed you all. I don't know. I don't know. That's not looking right. There's something off about this. Let me check. Werewolf 5E. Werewolf. Okay. Equipment that they are... Any equipment that they're wearing or carrying is not transformed. So it's unlike a wild shape. They just tear through their clothes. So that sort of pin remains, but the cloak is mistreated. Like it's kind of getting torn. And like maybe the werewolf is just wearing part of the studded leather, but it's completely broken. I don't know. I think that there's something not very wolf-like about this wolf. Something certainly unlupine. Yes. Bah, it might do for now. I think the muzzle doesn't give the impression of being long enough. Or maybe it gives the impression of being too long. It gives the impression of not being the right shape. You know, that will be for later. That's a problem for future prov. That should be my that should be my motto. This is a problem. This is for future prov to think about. And the last one, I'm going to hide this for a sec. In the last one, she remained in the Feywild, so she just lived her life there, got herself into a relationship with a nice satirist, got, like, still got completely saturated with Feywild magic, so she's still going to have that sort of Fey thing going on. But yeah. A question you didn't ask yourself about today. Yes, before today. Aha! You know the funny part? I've thought about it. What I think, and I think I might have said something about it in character. I think Donna might have said that to Volan at some point. That the innkeeper looks very tired. I think that Donna might not be fully aware that that his innkeeper is a changeling. He might have mistaken him for a half drow. Delana is completely aware that the innkeeper is a changeling. Because, you know, Faye. Is he going to find out eventually? I don't know. Wait. No, that's just a half drow. It's just a half drow who really needs to sleep. Okay? And maybe he has cataracts because maybe he's old. I don't know. He has Zone of Truth though now. Like, if he really wants to, he can find out. It would be very rude though to cast Zone of Truth inside an establishment that has been having him over for like almost 3 years now. Rude. Eventually he might find out. Though honestly, this is the innkeeper is a changeling who is always like, who's never transformed. Like, just always. That's the most transparent choice that he could be making. In this version, maybe she's spent so much time in the Feywild that she's grown like deer-like antlers. Like, instead of being ever so slightly dryad-like, she went ever so slightly sort of fawn-like almost. And you know what? Maybe she's not even wearing an armor here. Maybe she's staying in the Feywild and just didn't really learn too much in the way of combat because, yeah, life was chill. Oh, chill. Okay, the Feywild is sort of the opposite of chill. But, you know. Wait, there's a problem here. There's a proportion problem. Okay. Here's where this is where her pelvis is going to go. That means that the tail is about here. There's Yeah, the rest of Delana's body is not going to be visible. All right. Ah. Actually, from here, the wolf doesn't look too bad. Wow, who knew that what you had to do was step back and have a look at the bigger picture? Who knew? As Delana would say, that's my wisdom for the day. just step back sometimes. Okay, so yeah, there's some faces that will not have reflections as a result. But that's okay. It's just one face every time that sort of shows an image. Alright, so time to start drawing the crystals. This one is way in front, so I'm going to use thick lines. Yeah, I could use a ruler, but maybe I don't know. What if I can't be bothered? We're back to inside me there are two wolves. Okay. This is also a crystal that's way at the front. So, thick lines. There's a bit of thickness that could be evened out. You know, I'm going to... Okay. So I'm going to put... No, I'm evening out the thickness. Don't call my wife. Don't call my wife. I'm evening out the thickness. By making the things that are slightly thinner, thicker. If anything, she would be very happy about this. Yes, I'm adding more thickness, not removing it. If anything, she should commend me for this. Oh, enjoy your snack. Boop-a-doom. I feel like I'm drawing pencils there. Oh no, the lighting is going to be terrible. Because they're magical crystals. That means that there's a chance that they're glowing. Unless, of course, there's other crystals that are glowing. And they're not the crystals that are reflecting alternate presence. Ba-da-ba-da. There. Alright. Next layer. So I'm just going to turn that one into... I don't know what color I make them. But what if I decide on the color here? Like for example, let's say I make them purple. And here I just make that one super dark. And then I use gray. Yeah. And they will show up as different colors. Well, different shades, rather. Different shades. So those are the ones that are right behind her. I'm going to start using the background thickness pens. Ah, crap. Oh, that one's pretty decent. That's a decent line. Just gotta clean it a bit. Sorry, I've just realized again that I had gone quiet. I was so busy cleaning up some lines that I neglected to speak. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the thickness of the lines as I go further and further back. I'm glad I had references for all those for those the shape of those crystals. What I did is that I posed the image in. Oh, hey! Hello, Hex. Welcome. Welcome. Wait a minute. First off, shout out to Hex because she's first, shout out because she raided, but shout out because she is more than just a raider. She's a regular raider, like a frequent raider. Regular raider makes us sound like she's just a normal raider. How are you? How was your stream? How was your stream? You were playtesting Seth, I think. Or Seth? I don't know how it's pronounced. I forgot. Yes! 70 ales! 70 ales for Hex. How was it? Because I saw a bit of it. But I didn't actually get to see the whole thing because I needed to, I needed to move on to my stream. Leaderboard spots on all 4 weapons at... Holy crap! Holy crap, she's a champion! Nice job. Oh, sorry, I just realized. Hey, you're like, you are taking the whole streaming and playtesting thing to, you're taking it very seriously. It's good. I'm not going to mock you for any of that. Also, by the way, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting that. I keep forgetting that I'm supposed to do that. Hi, I'm Prov. This is the Proverbial Inn, but today we are not doing we are doing an out of character stream because we are doing some art. I'm doing art that was I'm doing art for an event by the site VGen, and this month the theme of the event is mirrors. So I'm drawing an image that has to do with mirrors. I'm drawing a character of mine that you haven't seen yet, but she's been here in the middle of a magical cave that's filled with crystals that show her alternate timelines. So timelines which just took a different decision for better or worse, but typically for worse because she got herself. You've seen her, but some newer viewers haven't seen her because she hasn't been around since Dungeon of Nihilbuck, like since the playthrough of Dungeon of Nihilbuck. So I think that Hex hasn't seen her ever. That's a ranger that I played in, like an elf ranger that I played during our playthrough of Curse of Strahd, of the Curse of Strahd campaign. So, yeah, she is used to horror, to horrifying things. She's seen terrible things, and at this point, she's mostly glad that she escaped them. But she was raised in the Feywild after she escaped her parents' vigilance as a child, and 20 years later or so, she started wandering, and she had a fairly, I would say, yeah, she had 200 years of just messing around on the material plane. Usually, actually. Messing around. When it came to people, it was messing up, mostly. But yeah, she ended up finding the party that that embarked on that on the Curse of Strahd campaign, and she managed to survive. So yeah, here are some. Wait a second. I'm going to show you maybe. Yeah. There's an alternate present where she turned into a vampire. There's one where she actually just where before. Oh, thank you, Melly. Yeah, I'm going to drink. Sorry, actually yapping just makes me thirsty. Yeah. Here's one where where after being hired by a group of mercenaries, she decided to stay with them. Here's one where she actually was never lost in the Feywild, so she remained with her parents. And here's one where she turned into a werewolf because she was bitten. But yeah. Yeah. So she's a character that I use for. Oh yes, you're familiar with it. So, if you ran this, you can probably guess what happened here. That might be a spoiler for others, but many will understand probably. Yeah, it was a good campaign. Heavy, but good. And yeah, this is a character that I use for either dungeon crawling games or survival games. Like, I used her for a playthrough of Minecraft, and she had all sorts of rules. Like, she was trying not to farm. Like, she wasn't supposed to farm. She was supposed to try to use fallen trees as often as possible instead of chopping down more. Because in Curse of Strahd, she was grieving. She was grieving a dryad whose tree had been chopped down by some very greedy woodcutters. Since then, the dryad got better, and you've seen her in previous streams. But yeah, that's a character. That's also my how could I say, a lesson learned. That what? your group has no survival instinct, like, at all. I'm going to assume that he gave them a show of power that scared the shit out of them. You just throw papers, please, at Strahd. Gutsy or reckless, I can't decide, but it's one of the two. But yeah, it was certainly something. Like, that campaign was cool, but it was very it was very heavy, and like I had an urge to have some this food. Oh my god! Like, was that a TPK? Like was was that a TPK? Because you're saying they didn't survive. Like, I'm trying to find anything that anything that I may have that could be funny to share, because oh, there's something that I can't find again. Huh. There is the no yes no one, but give me a sec. There had been oh no, oh no. We had one character. We had one character who dared to make fun of his butler. And he was given a bit of psychic damage from something. And from that point we knew that, hey, okay, we should be a little careful. Let me see. I'm trying to give me a sec. I might actually I'm going to mess around with something. But yeah, so yeah, I'm going to guess TPK. Like, I'm going to guess they all died. I'm trying to boom. Sorry, I'm just giggling at some old images. Is there anything? Oops. I just want. Sorry, that's taking a bit. I'm just going to ignore that for now. I have an image like, oh yeah, that character who's, you know, an elf, so she has advantage on the whole saving throws against being charmed. Guess what? At some point she got charmed by Strahd. Right after he killed her, or no, yeah, she got charmed by him, and he killed her her animal companion. Of course, that's an animal companion, and so it was temporary. He got better, but like for a bit she was like, "Oh yeah, but you know, it's he's a very stand-up kind of guy. There was surely a reason why he killed my my companion. He must have felt threatened or something." Uh, yeah, what was I doing? Oh, sorry. I sort of forgot what I was doing. That's terrible. I walked down memory lane and I got lost. But yeah, absolutely. There were cases, there were moments where it was like, yeah, moments of absolute terror. It's, and I know that you might think, oh yeah, it heightens the stakes and all, but it kind of almost made me regret actually getting attached to my character who was lost in a horror campaign where death was looming around every corner. And like, you can't ask me to make characters and to, you know, not get attached to them. I can't not. Oh god, I think I. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're about to run it. Fun fact: after running this, after running after Curse of Strahd, uh, I immediately. Oh, we're going to run. Yeah. Death House is a bit of a meat grinder. Oh no! Oh, the poor babies! The poor babies! No! Uh, well, yeah, that might be a very unpleasant lesson. That when the DM asks you, "Hey, please don't get too attached to your characters quite yet. They're likely to die." Just, yeah. But on the other hand, when you're making a character that you will probably use for the entire campaign, you're kind of going to get attached even to the idea. But yeah, shortly after finishing Curse of Strahd, we went straight to the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, which is a lot more whimsical in nature. Still has potentially scary and even depressing bits, but it's more lighthearted in general. Or at least I'm running it more lighthearted. Hmm. You know what? I'm going to have to, during the break, because there's an ad break coming up. I am going to have to snoop through the meme stuff that I've made, because for such a bleak campaign, we've been memeing a lot about it, and I think that the bleaker campaign is, the more likely I am to just try to offset the sadness by making stupid shit posts. So I'm going to look for them. But in the meantime, I'm going to send you to the ads. That will be the last ad break of the evening, then straight on until the end of the stream. But I still have some stuff to draw. So I'll be back in 3 minutes. Hello, welcome. Hey, it looks like I forgot to actually hide stuff. Well, oh no, never mind. I was just looking at images that I had made for this campaign. So I had just drawn I had just drawn this character back when she was a kid, and also this image, because nothing offsets realizing that you're completely under the control of the big villain of the story, like just shitposting. I just wanted to see. Wait. Can I actually... Okay, if I show this... if I show this... Is it going to play it on full blast? Because I would not want to play it on full blast. Properties... I don't want to loop it. Show nothing when playback ends. No. Okay, I had also made like an animatic shitpost, which is probably what Ednem was talking about. Like, it will be very fast.
You may enter.
It's not.
No!
Yes.
No!
Ah, yes, no, it did actually play the sound. For those, for context, this was actually a video, of a prank where children were told that they were going to visit Santa, but inside Santa's house was not Santa, but Darth Vader. And so the audio is actually Darth Vader just telling a kid, "You may enter," and the kid is like, the kid has a self-preservation instinct and goes, "No." And Darth Vader goes, "Yes." The kid just shouts, "No!" Funnily enough, too, the little dragonborn that you saw fireballing Strahd was actually the one who got the final hit. So it was prophetic in a certain way. Oh, and also there was a sad animation that I did at some point as well, because you remember how I said that she was grieving a dryad because woodcutters had chopped down a very special tree? At some point we had to destroy a tree. An evil tree. We needed to use a great axe. Guess who was the only character in the party who was proficient with great axes? That's right. The ranger. The ranger who was grieving. The ranger who had a trauma that was associated with cutting down trees. And so I made this. That was just sad. That wasn't me memeing. That was just That was just sad. Oh, poor Mary. You can't just... Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's like... Yeah, that was just really... Okay, I wouldn't say it was fun to make, okay? It was really sad, actually. It was really sad, actually. But... But it was... I guess it was nice to finish. Oh, let me see. Show me. Yes. Yes. Oh, wait a minute. I need to paste it somewhere. Oh, I have to save it. Boop. There was an awful amount of memeing and shitposting. Yeah, you did draw that. Oh, yeah, that's... Oh my god. Okay, I'm going to... That one too. Yes. That... Actually, you know what? That might have been a moment that... might have been one of those moments that scared the shit out of me. Just having an enemy casting Finger of Death and just, you know, oof. And on top of that, yeah, I think at the same time I was failing sleight of hand checks over and over and over. I was like, please, I'm just trying to help my friends. I really wish at the time that I had realized that to cast Dissonant Whispers, you don't have to see whoever you're targeting. They just have to be in the area, like in the range. But I could have attacked the boss at that point, had I remembered. Good. It feels a bit weird to say good times about the horror campaign, but good times anyway. Also, of course, That's one that appears during ad breaks, but that was another shit post because of the whole because of the fact that Delana would conjure up an image of Oak as her healing spirit. Oh, I forgot to for context too, Delana has a stutter that causes her to often appear scared and to, appear perhaps less confident than she might be. And yeah, it appeared during the entire campaign. And also, yeah, she was still very, very much grieving during that time. But sort of grieving in a way that was like, hey, you left, like, you disappeared before your time. What if I brought you back, but cleverly, instead of being like, oh yeah, necromancy, woo! I think necromancy, I think raising zombies and such doesn't work on Fae. Anyway, it doesn't, I believe. I think typically it's like, oh yeah, you must have such a humanoid corpse or whatever. The more I think of Delana, the more I think that Khalid and Jahira from Baldur's Gate 1 were probably a big inspiration without even me realizing. I loved those two. They were really cool. Alright, I still have about 45 minutes. To actually draw one of the images properly. I'm just going to draw I'm just going to draw the centerpiece. Boop. Line art. Boop. And she's just going to be in a regular size G pen. I'm going to have to reopen a good what's it called? Ref pic. A good reference picture. I think that from that angle I need to draw the nose shorter because like this probably. Yes. Also, I do tend to draw her eyes too big. it's difficult to make to figure out the right shape to give an eyebrow to convey a mix of defensive attitude, and by defensive I don't mean the scared kind of defensive. I mean the, oh, you're attacking me, I am going to kick your ass. Like a mix of this and actual concern, like worry. Because the thing with Delana is that she's seen enough really bad things to have become kind of a worrywart. Like she's a lot more hardened now against fear. But you know, when you've seen the actual extent of, oh, I forgot. I'm actually drawing her. I'm actually drawing her mirrored here. Yeah. I think I'm drawing. I think there's something off here. That's fine. I can always correct it later. But yeah, when you've seen the true extent of the terrible things that can befall you, it's understandable that you'd be kind of wary. But yeah, regarding the players who are about to try going through Death House, I hope they'd be okay. I think that depending on the team composition and on yeah, the players will be okay. But I'm more concerned about the character. Well, I know that it's more that it's not that I don't care about the players, it's that I know that the monsters aren't going to come out of the game and kill the players for real. Unless... But yeah, yeah, that's true. And the players might very well find that it's way too dark for their tastes, like tone-wise. Oh shit! Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, yeah, if there's... Yeah, that's true. Oof. So yeah, I guess so. Okay. Well, thank you for coming by. Yeah, thank you for coming by, and I hope that you have a really nice evening. Wha- Wait a minute. I'm gonna stop trying to kill. Yeah. Yeah. You'll be able to rest some. Oh no! It turns out that I know how to draw a braid in one direction, but not in the other. Eep. Oh no. Oops. Sorry, I forgot how I forgot. I forgot the part where I speak. um. Yeah. What a campaign. To be fair, I think that it's weird, but it's easy to. I think it might be even easier to get attached to a character when there's serious stakes like this, and when they're in a really bad situation. And I think next time we see her, it will either be for Crypt of the Necrodancer, because she does play an instrument. It's a pan flute. And you know, it involves a dungeon. Or possibly a playthrough of Enshrouded. Because it's survival, and also because she's already been through Ominous Fog, so hey. Why not a second helping of Ominous Fog? Bum. All right. Honestly, I think that this piece has been progressing a fair bit. If I've been able to finish most of the sketching. It took 4 hours, but I managed to finish most of the sketching. And yeah, and I can start. I've been able to start the line art. Just want to make sure of something. All right. Yeah. I kind of wish it didn't have that complicated an armor. But at some point during the campaign, she upgraded to a studded leather armor. And unfortunately, studded leather armors are pretty tedious to draw. Did you know, though, they're even more tedious to model? The little rivets, pain in the ass. Hell on the topology. But the result was pretty good. How many places? Holy crap, there's yet another one. Yet another leather thing. Leather plates? It's a plate, I suppose. It's just not... I mean... I think the studs are supposed to hold some... perhaps a little plate of metal in the back. Blah blah blah, something something. Studded leather armors that didn't actually exist, blah blah blah. They didn't. The closest, I think, was the Brigandine, which is some sort of armor that has bits of metal sort of nailed on the inside, and so on the outside you just see the studs, but you know, the armor is reinforced with actual metal. The studs don't actually do anything but hold the metal. Wait. Okay. So I'm going to use the reference again. I think the claw marks are in this direction. Oof, I'm starting to be a bit tired, but I'm going to try to get a little more done if I can. Because she's turning. Wait, because she's turning. She also has some sort of little wicker ball as a focus, a druidic focus. It's not because she's turning, by the way, that she has a druidic focus. It's just because she's turning, the druidic focus is sort of being flung upwards, along with the little trinket in the shape of a badger that she also carries. Okay, I think it might be a little too late for me to actually do the mental geometry bullshit that is required to draw a proper looking thing. So I'm going to draw that here. Put a couple of arrows. Sorry. I've also apparently lost a bit of my ability to speak. Never mind that. There's some sort of brace around her abdomen that also has studs. So presumably it has little metal bits all around to protect her vital organs. And then there's the skirt thing, which is less a skirt and more like sort of a long flap. That goes all around. But I'm just thinking that it protects her hips, but it doesn't actually protect her crotch, so if she gets stabbed from the front, that sucks. Oh, I had also forgotten that there's actually yet another bit of leather here. with a bit of her shoe. Here we have similar situation with just the strap going there. And a bit of boot. I have 14 minutes. I think that this might actually be a good place to take a little break. And by a little break, I mean, to actually call it for the night. So that I can actually, that I can rest and continue on another day. I think that's already a lot of progress. I'm pretty confident that by the end of the month it will be done. And then I can submit it to, Yeah. I can't even really remember what. You know what friendship is that? That's friendship. My sweetheart, my beloved. It's good that you will be there to motivate me. Good, and I don't even really know if there's anything to win or something. So I'm going to check. I'm going to check if there's anything to win. Let's see, is it in the announcements? Events. Challenge for August. Rules and details. The winners get a challenge of specific badge, an invite code, and an on-site and social media feature. Okay, so that's pretty damn cool. I could be featured somewhere, which is cool. And that's going to cause me to get a big head, I guess. Yeah. Well, you did this. Yeah. But yeah. So I'll just try my best. I'll just try my best, considering that I have other things to do as well, because yeah, I'm a bobblehead now. Boom. 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 All right. So yeah, I'm going to look for for someone to raid, and I think that the Curio is doing art. So hey, were you hungry for more art? Because there's more art coming. Yeah, we're going to visit Curio. Always hungry. Yes. So, yeah, the message, of course, is pub crawl. Put in any emotes you want in there. Okay, fun emotes, not like pub crawl, angry, aggressive emote, finger flipping the birds and such. No, we want nice ones. Okay, be nice. Yeah, and well, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you again, Hex, for the raid. That was really cool. Always happy to see you around. Yeah, thank you everybody. It's like drawing while you're all around. That's nice. That's nicer than drawing on my own. It's more motivating. It gives me accountability. If I don't draw, like if for 4 hours I'm there like looking at memes on the internet instead of actually drawing, it's going to be recorded. Whereas if I stream, you know, I just gotta draw. I gotta draw. So yeah, off we go to visit Curio. Thank you for the hearts. So stay around as we prepare for the raids, and I'll see you again on Thursday. Maybe I'll continue drawing this piece. Maybe I'll be drawing something else. Who knows? That's a bit how it's going to be with my out of character streams. Sometimes you just roll the dice. It's a surprise. I'm basically the wild magic sorcerer of streamers. Alright, off we go. Get ready for the raid, and I'll see you again on Thursday. Bye!